Hey there, welcome. This is Christian here, and in today's video of the week, one of my favorite topics, understanding anger. Now, anger is one of these really essential emotions that you cannot live without, but it's often misunderstood. A lot of people's personal experience of anger is really negative. Perhaps past relationships have broken down, or they've seen how anger has been a cause of either physical abuse, emotional abuse, and perhaps as children we look at our parents, and as they fight we see the angers being exchanged, and it's really been a poison that has brewed inside of us that we've tried to push down often. So it's something that's commonly repressed and disconnected from. But it's one of these elementals. It's a force that if we don't learn how to own, and when I say own, I don't mean to be angry with everybody all the time. I'm talking about owning the energy in being able to have clear boundaries so you can say no without having to go to the crazy rage place. Most people confuse rage with anger. Most people have had an experience of anger. They call it anger when in fact it's usually rage. It's when anger has not been digested properly that it comes out viciously and in a painful, damaging way. So in today's video clip from the Heart Summit, I want to share with you one of my favorite all-time moments when I talk about how anger is really vital. I remember when I posted this on Facebook the first time, and it was the most popular and most viral video that I've ever produced. And I think you'll see why when you watch it. It's amazing medicine, and I know that some of you are going to find it controversial, that perhaps you have a belief that anger is negative, that it should be never appropriate to be angry or have anger. But my invitation is for you to have an open mind and just have a listen and feel whether this or part of it is true for you. And then after the video, we'll come back here and we'll kind of debrief and summarize and let you know how you can take it further. So here you go. Enjoy this clip on understanding anger. Without anger, you risk merging with others, being bipolar, getting depressed, going numb, becoming codependent, getting addicted. You lose your boundaries, you decrease your magnetism, your radiance, and your sexual presence. What a wonderful thing to lose. And all you need to do to have all of that is get some more anger in you. One of the biggest myths about anger is that you need an enormous amount of self-worth to have anger. I know this is going to sound completely counterintuitive. The anger that comes from an unworthy source is rage. When somebody is truly deserving, they will hold what is absolutely right for them. I'll say that again. When somebody is really worthy, they deserve to be treated in a certain way. They say, this is who I am, and I deserve more than this. Enough. They are strong enough in themselves to say no to what they don't want. They have to have a certain amount of worth to say no. Because imagine if somebody was insecure and unworthy, they'll say yes to everything. Okay, beat me, abuse me. Yeah, give me some more. But you resonate with that, right, though? We've all done it. Maybe not quite the same posture. But we've all been in a situation where we haven't felt good about ourselves, so we've let things happen to us that we should never have let happen to us. We've let our boundaries go completely crossed. And the anger that comes later then becomes unhealthy. It's craziness. When anger should never be a violent outburst. That's not anger. Anger is the natural assertion of in-the-moment spontaneous boundary that is done with kindness. That's called internal fire. It's just, no. You see, it's really clear. But I'm not going, no. Because if I'm doing that second one, it's far too late. You get it, right? So then we show up in this weird way, and then guess what happens? We judge ourselves that anger is not okay. And then it becomes our shadow then. It becomes like something we don't want to show others. So then we're told to keep that hidden, because maybe as a child we were very emotional and very alive. And our parents may not have liked that because they don't hold the same emotional container. That was the way I was brought into the world, and I was a very temper tantrum kind of kid. I went into temper tantrums. You would never have guessed, would you? And you know, my dad, bless his heart, he's a mechanical engineer. He sees the world really through logic and the brain, reading newspapers, the Daily Telegraph. So when emotion comes there, it's not really, let me feel you for a moment, son. It's usually, what the fuck? But in his own language. And, you know, he made it wrong. So I pushed it down and said, okay, it's not acceptable. Time to just leave that away. Yeah, we all do it. We all have had some form of programming conditioning that makes certain emotions wrong and certain emotions right. We all have it. And you know what? Our parents do the best that they can. But still, that's the result of that childhood experience. Now, anger is one of those elementals. By an elemental, it means you can't live without it. There are some emotions that you can, if you experience it or not experience it, it's not the end of the world. Anger, sorry, if you don't have it, you will never be happy. You'll never feel fulfilled, unfortunately. It's one of those elementals, meaning it's like the oil that comes out of the ground. From that oil comes natural gas, petroleum, and all these other types of energies, but they all are sourced from the compression of sunlight over millions of years. It is the thick treacle that comes out of the ground. It is the core energy, and then as you refine it, it has more and more power. Eventually it can be used for jet fuel or rocket fuel, and you can launch things into orbit with it. But it all comes from sunlight being compressed over millions of years, stored in the ground. But when you bring it out of the ground, it's thick and black and dirty. And through a process of refinement, does it become this incredible source of fuel that is running this entire planet. Exactly the same with anger. Anger is this thick black tar that nobody really wants to deal with. But it is the source, it's the primal source of energy that when you refine, and how do you refine it? Through this process. When you learn to acknowledge, feel, accept all of who you are, when you begin, as I said, the process of tracking and feeling and really opening your heart and allowing what's moving to be felt and give it voice and to share and be open and communicate and to track and to embody, it all begins to refine to the point where you won't be sharp and angular with your anger. It's just natural fire burning brightly deep into your core. I mean, literally, it's just this. And you don't have to be all Incredible Hulk with it. You can actually relax and stand on stage and just be very still. But there's a fire burning. And that can never go out. You understand? This is what I'm talking about. And this energy can do anything. It will manifest anything. It's that power that commands the emotional, energetic forces that transform your world. If you learn how to hold and turn this into your fuel, then there's nothing stopping you. So there you have it. Anger is not negative when it's the internal fire that's integrated as part of our wholeness. That it becomes that clear boundary where we can say no, that we are self-honoring, that it's an expression of our worth, of our self-deserving. And that when we connect to it, we liberate our sexuality, our creativity, our sense of purpose and drive, that we're able to move forward in our life in ways that we couldn't imagine before, because it's the pure elemental fuel that causes us to move. So it's not about the anger, about being angry. It's about noticing that there is an energy behind that force that is so elemental and primal and important and pivotal, really, for our health and happiness. Our health and our happiness. Yes, when we hold anger in and we try to repress it, it becomes unhealthy. But when we're overly uncontained and anger is just blah, blah, and it comes out as rage, that's unhealthy too. I'm talking about the solid integration of that energy. It takes work. It's not something we can do by ourselves, actually. It takes guidance. We need others to witness us and feel us and to help us navigate and explore it, because it's something actually which we aren't ever taught in schools. Our parents don't usually model it very well. Our culture really has a real negative connotation about this whole frequency. It's just something we avoid. So it's so important that we learn how to capitalize and transform this energy into what it could be. Because the possibilities for us in terms of our personal healing, and especially our relationships, when we integrate this part, it becomes the juice, the passion, that creates the polarity in our connection with other. So it's a very, very powerful piece, and I hope you got the medicine from it. And I'd love to hear your thoughts about it by having you share some comments below and talking and having a conversation. What is your thoughts about anger? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let's keep the conversation, civil. So if you do disagree, let's agree to disagree agreeably, and we can have a good conversation about it, because I learn a lot from all of your perspectives. And this is not about being right or wrong. This is about sharing from a place to come from. And I'd also love to invite you to a series of broadcasts that I'm doing from an upcoming Love, Relationships and You retreat. I'm going to be there live doing some amazing relationship training. And during that training, I'm going to be doing some broadcasts to all of you absolutely free. And these 90-minute relationship trainings are going to be on the topic of sacred sexuality, heart-centered communication, and learning to use your relationships to heal at a deep, deep level through a process called accelerated awakening. It's going to be an amazing opportunity for you from the comfort of your home to get some great training, practical training, demos, some Q&As time for you to just see how to take your relationships to a whole new level. And for me to demonstrate how I use the heart intelligence, the heart IQ method, to coach couples. Because you may be a professional going, wow, I'd love to see how this works in real life. And perhaps it's something that you'll be inspired to take on, is to become a relationship coach. It will be an amazing profession, because there's no deeper impact that you can make than on a couple, because it affects the children, the family unit, and the community at large. It's quite amazing. So I'm really looking forward to doing these broadcasts. I can't wait to share this information and this training with you. I know it's going to touch your life and maybe touch many more because of what you've learned. So to get access to these broadcasts and to get yourself on the list to receive all the details and to attend live, all you need to do is click on the link below, and that will take you to a page where you can sign up and get all the details. So until next time, leave a comment below, let me know what you thought, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.